In today's video, I'm going to do something a bit different. I'm going to be doing a gear review. I've never done a gear review before, but I really need the piece of kit in question. What I need is an RF video transmitter and receiver unit, because at the moment everything is cabled. The catch has been that an RF video unit is around £2,000 to £3,000, the Teradex, the box units, the CW units, and they can be quite fragile. So when someone said to me, oh, I've got a Hollyland unit, it's less than £1,000 and it's really good, I thought they were on something. But then Hollyland got hold of me and said, well, we'll send you the Mars 300 Pro Enhanced and you can try it, and as long as you give us an honest review, it's yours to keep. So here I am. I don't know anything about this unit, and I'm going to learn with you about whether it's any good or not. And I really hope it is, but don't worry, I'll tell you if it's not. Moment of truth, I have my tool of choice, a butter knife, and I'm going to open it up and see what we've got. One of the things that's really interesting about this unit is it also has Wi-Fi capability, so that you can pick up the signal on up to 2 mobile devices. We have an instruction manual, and we have the 2 units. The units look identical, except one says transmitter on it and one says receiver. Now, the reason it's the enhanced unit is it has extra aerials to go on the top. Does it work out of the box? So in order to do that, I've got 2 NPF batteries, I've got a 7-inch Blackmagic monitor, and I've got a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera. And I've set the HDMIs up. So in theory, I should just be able to pull this out of the box, plug it all in and have it work. Let's see how long it takes. So here we have the transmitter. Battery's on. That's nice. They didn't get stuck. And we've got the receiver. Battery's on that as well. Oh, I've just done the thing. The thing is, with the grown-up big boy units, if you power up the transmitter without plugging in the aerials, there's a really good chance that you'll overload the system. The thing won't have any range anymore. So we're about to find out if that's the case with this one. So here we go, that's plugged in. That's plugged in. Need to get this onto the camera. It's got an input and an output, which is very kind of it. And now we're going to plug this one into HDMI out. Make sure the camera's turned on. And turn the monitor on. We have a picture. That took less than a minute. What do you think? The next thing we've got to do is to see what the Wi-Fi is like. There's a QR code in the back of the instructions.
The QR code will take you to the app. After the splash screen, if you see this page, it's because you need to join the Wi-Fi network put out by the unit. This Wi-Fi network will have a name starting in HLD, and the default password will be 1 through 8. And you're in. The app is reasonably feature-rich, with 10 basic tools and a screen grab function. The tools are waveform, histogram, focus peaking, zebra, title safe, magnification, false color, single color, 3D LUTs, though the 3D LUT function did seem a bit strange to me with sunspots and weird colors in the shadows. And it has a mirror function.
Right, so everything's set up. That took me about 10 minutes. The weakest part was probably the app so far. Right now though, there is one little thing, and that's latency. So this has an advertised latency of 0.08 seconds, which is about 1.5 or 2 frames, I think. And some people say they can't focus pull on that. Well, it's not 100% ideal. Units that have 0 latency tend to cost around 10 times what this does. So if you can focus pull with it, and that latency is acceptable, it's a big win. In order to do that, I need to test it. And to test it, I've come up with a really, really bad idea. I've strapped the Mars 300 Pro to a quadcopter. So if I can fly this unit using a GoPro, we can see what happens when you subject it to some fairly extreme abuse. It's pretty laggy with this GoPro, but if it can survive this, it's going to be fine to focus pull on. And it will survive a film set.
Adding the GoPro to the Mars gave me a whopping 22 frames of delay, which made flying the drone via FPV almost impossible. And I had to keep checking between line of sight and FPV. I almost scalped myself a few times, and the drone kept getting away from me. So eventually I'd crash. So it's really not a fair test of latency, but it did teach me a few other things about the unit. Fortunately though, I clearly hadn't done any damage by turning it on with the aerials off.
I'm not going to lie, I'm not a very good FPV pilot, in case you hadn't already figured out. But by the time I put the GoPro on this, there was the best part of what I think is about a second's worth of latency. You can probably see it here. This test has proved a couple of things. It's proved that the Mars 300 Pro unit is light enough to put on a small quad and fly with it. It's resilient enough to bash around because I just crashed it a bunch of times. The reception from it has been absolutely flawless. So while it does have a little bit of latency, not as much as you're seeing at the moment, it's a really good unit for the price. You can buy this unit for 450 quid, or you can buy a Teradek unit for starting price £1,000. It's all there, there's just a tiny bit of latency.